Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just got off to a good start, obviously, and then we had a lull. But second half, I just wasn't happy with our level of focus to challenge the guys in the timeout. I forget how much time there was on the clock, but I thought from that point forward it was a totally different game. So I liked the way our guys responded from being challenged. It was good to see some guys get going offensively. So there was a lot to like. Obviously we'll go in and watch the film, but I think just that response out of that timeout is probably what we'll take from this game more than anything. So I'll open it up.
Talk about that lull at the end of the first half, and was that more them, the law of averages, catching up in terms of their shots dropping, or do you feel like you had a drop off defensively?
No, I mean I watched most of those at halftime. Those threes they hit later in this first half. Some of it was bad luck. Some of it was poor closeouts. But give them credit. We were kind of challenging certain guys to make shots. They came in and made shots, so we had to adjust in the second half, which I thought we did a pretty good job from that standpoint.
Dawson Baker was one of those guys offensively who had a big game for you. What did you like about his performance tonight?
I thought he was efficient. He was making quick decisions. That's something kind of we've been on him about since I got here. Dribbling less, just doing more with less, basically. What was he, 8 of 10 from the field? I mean, it was really good to see him, have a night like that in front of the crowd. He's had days like that in practice, hasn't been able to put it together in the game until today. So I just liked how efficient and aggressive he was.
What were you seeing on the court that could kind of inspired you to challenge the guys? Was it the defensive end, or what were you seeing?
Yeah, I just thought we were a step slow on everything, defensively, and then offensively. There were certain things I was trying to get us into from a play call standpoint, and I wasn't happy with the urgency that we were getting into those actions with. So, that was kind of the message in that timeout.
Do you feel like you guys made some steps tonight, got better, as I said?
Yeah, I do. I thought, going back to Dawson, Trevin got going as well. So I thought Elijah played well. So I think individually there were some guys that probably grew some confidence from that game. But again, like I say this all the time, every game presents a different challenge. Tonight we had to respond to some of their runs. So that was something that we'll take from here. But yeah, I definitely think there was plenty of things that we can learn from that game.
You talked after the game on Friday about kind of drop off after Yegor went off the court. It was your backup ball handler. Did you see more from Elijah and Dawson in particular in that realm?
Yeah, I did. We tried to bring Dawson in a little bit sooner today, to kind of mix up the subbing pattern, so to speak. So yeah, I thought there was less of a lull, but honestly, it was hard to tell because we were up 25 by that point. So it was hard to tell. So we'll have to keep studying that.
Back-to-back games for Kebakeda with double-doubles. What kind of presence and impact has he made so far this season?
He's just a guy who gets a lot done, within his role, which is what I love about him. He's a guy that knows who he is. Our guys, like even that lob Dawson threw him, our guys know where he's at. I think the chemistry is starting to come together with guys looking for him on some of those lobs. But he's so athletic that he just goes up and gets rebounds. So, which obviously we'll need that as we get into conference play for sure, athletically.
You've talked in the past, Watt Mag. You've mentioned Mag plays. What do you see his role kind of evolving as over the course of this season?
Yeah, trying to bring him in there to guard guys, and have a defensive, mindset. I thought he did that, tonight. I went with him a little bit earlier in the second half for that reason. So he's a guy that's coming off of an injury from last season, so he's kind of working his way in there, and it's still a feeling out process. But he knows what he's kind of like Cabe. I think he knows what he's good at and what he hangs his hat on, and just trying to get him to lock into those things on the defensive end of the floor.
Saturday you'll play your first day game. It'll be a 1 o'clock tip. Does that change much, if anything, for you guys?
Not really. No, we have. I'm liking how we're progressing, just even with our routines. Just processes. I'm a big process guy, and so we've tried to be pretty mindful about how we go about doing things, and that'll fall in line with kind of how we've been, to this point.
Is this a game that you inherited, or it was already on the schedule when you
Yeah, one of their assistants was the ops guy here at one point. I'm sure you guys knew that, but yeah. Yep.
25 assists on 40 made field goals. 5 of those came from Foose. Seemed like you were trying to run things through him when Jaeger wasn't on the floor. Is that kind of something you look at going forward as well?
It will be, yeah. Yep. I trust him. I mean, there's certain actions that we have not got to as much in the first 2 games, so I was calling that specific play more tonight to get him some of those, touches at the top, and even down low, he settles us, so he's a real calming force out there.
Now that they've signed, we can ask about your first 2 recruits in the next recruiting class, Burgess and Stanton. What do you think of those 2 guys, and what attracted you towards them, and why you wanted to get them here to BYU?
Yeah. I think commonalities with both of them is just the athleticism and the length. Something that definitely caught my eye with both of them, and then, was tracking both of them pretty heavily this summer. As I was trying to figuring out even how to do this job, to be honest with you. So, Chamberlain's the guy that he really came on as the summer, went progressed, and he's only going to get better. His body will mature, and I think that's where they're both similar. That both their bodies, we have an NBA level strength and conditioning coach. Our director of nutrition was with me in Phoenix, and so I'll put our performance staff up against anyone's in the country, and I think it's really attractive for athletes to come here and get better with what we have to offer them. And so Xavion, I think offensively, he'll fit in really well with the amount of vertical threats that we like to have out there. He's a guy who's getting more skilled kind of as he progresses in his high school career, and then defensively he's the best rim protector in the high school ranks in the entire country. So he'll be able to shore our defense up on that side. And then Chamberlain offensively, he can do a little bit of everything. He can shoot, he can handle, he can pass, he can roll as well. So liked his versatility. And both of them come from great families and will be tremendous fits here at BYU.
Have you been surprised at all at the reception on the recruiting trail? You noted you're new to the job, but to sign people of that status in the recruiting ranks, I think that speaks volumes to what you're building here. Has that surprised you or shocked you at the quick reception to what you're building here at BYU?
I don't know if surprising is the right word. I mean, it's been, for me, it's just what do we have to offer that people will be interested in, right? And so one of the things that I think is unique with us is the stuff that we're talking to recruits and their parents about. It's not hypothetical, right? I've done it at the NBA level. I've where these guys are trying to get to. I've been there. I've lived that life, and I've brought a lot of people here on our staff who have also lived that life. So when we talk about a strength and conditioning program, it's not hypothetical. We talk about a nutrition plan for someone to, grow their body. It's not hypothetical, right? Player development on the court, got multiple guys who were G League head coaches. Again, it's not hypothetical. And so I think that message has resonated with people. And, we've tried to be selective about who those people are and really try to vet, character-wise and make sure it's guys that we want in our program. And that's something that we take very serious. And so I think the combination of all that, has allowed us to, get some things done to this point, and just thrilled that people, are seeing kind of it in the same light that we are.
2 more questions? Maybe not?
I got one for Jay.
Yeah.
I saw your son hike the CDT.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. My brother-in-law actually just did that last year.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so they might have to trade war stories from the CDT. Yeah, that's cool, man. All right, guys, appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.